දෙනාට ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා සුබම සුබ සන්ධ්‍යාවක් ආයුබෝවන්. Good News Radio ආරම්භ කරන්න තමයි අද අපි මේ විදිහට සූදානම් වන්නේ සීනිගම අතිවිශිෂ්ට ආමන්ත්‍රණයේ අපේ Good News Radio පරිශ්‍රයේ සිට. ඉතින් අදත් හරියටම අපි ආරාධනා කරනවා මේ වෙලාවේ නම් හවස 5 වෙනකන් අපි ඔයාලත් එක්ක සූදානම් වෙනවා කතා කරන්න. ඒ වගේම ඔයාගේ මනස සූපපත් කරන ඔයාලට හොඳ දේවල්ම විතරක් අරගෙන එන Good News Radio අදත් සුවිශේෂී සෙග්මන්ට් කීපයක්ම සූදානම් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඔයාලා වෙනුවෙන් සජීවීව ලබා දෙන්න ආරාධනා කරනවා හවස 5 වෙනකන් අපිත් එක්ක රැඳිලා ඉන්න කියලා. ඒත් එක්කම මතක් කරන්නට ඕන Good News Radio ආරම්භ කරන්න කලින් අපි මේ Good News Radio සංකල්පයට පනවන්නට අපිට ශක්තියක් උණු M ස්ටුඩියෝ එහෙම නැත්නම් ෆියුචර් ආයතනයේ හර්ෂ පුරසිංහ මහත්මයා ඇතුළු සමස්ත කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයත් සිහිපත් කරමින් එසේනම් Foundation of Goodness ඔබ වෙත ඉතාමත් කෘතවේදීව ලබා දෙන Good News Radio සජීවී විකාශනයයි අපි මේ ඉන්න ආරම්භ කරන්නේ. ශශිකලා.
Thank you, Vishmi. A warm welcome to all of you, and you're listening to Good News Radio. We're bringing you live from the Srinigama Center of Excellence of the Foundation of Goodness, and we are here till 5 p.m. like all Saturdays, and wherever you are listening from, we hope that you're having a lovely Saturday afternoon, morning, evening, whatever the time zone may be. So as usual, today we have a packed agenda with many different segments, and we would like to remind M Studio, who kindly sponsored the Good News Radio to the Foundation of Goodness, and we have an entire team now behind the Foundation of Goodness, so behind the Good News Radio in fact. So it started off as a single army by Vishmi, and then it expanded slowly. She has trained many new radio hosts, I must say, and the Good News Radio is flourishing because it's not about the content that we bring, but it's also the talent that we are able to train for the future radios shows in Sri Lanka. So the future of radio looks very bright, right Vishmi?
Of course, Shashikala. I think අපි අද මුලින්ම සෙග්මන්ට් එකට යන්නයි හදන්නේ Shashikala. මේ වෙතින් මැදිරියට අපේ සියලුම අමුත්තන් ඇවිත් ඉන්නවා. අපි යන්න සූදානම් වෙනවා Good Volunteer සෙග්මන්ට් එකට. අපි බලමු කවුද අද මැදිරියට ඇවිත් ඉන්නේ කියලා. Good Volunteer සෙග්මන්ට් එකත් එක්කම Shashikala අද අපි කම්බයින් කරන්න යනවා තවත් අලුත් සෙග්මන්ට් එකක්. Shashikala මේ ගැන කියන නිසා මම ඔයාලට අවස්ථාව ලබා දෙන්න සූදානම්. අපි මේ විදිහට අපේ පළවෙනි සෙග්මන්ට් එකට යනවා.
Thank you, Vish. Thank you, Vishmi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the first segment of the day, which is the founder segment. So we have in the studio, we have the founder of the Foundation of Goodness, Mr. Kushil Gunasekara, and then we will be having a conversation with two amazing individuals. So as you know, the founder segment is all about how we chat. We have an interesting conversation with many of the visitors who visit the Foundation of Goodness, and over the past few months or years, in fact, we've had the privilege of having many wonderful guests in the studio, and we've had the honor of having many different diverse conversations with them. So to start off today's segment, I will hand over to Kushil to do the introduction. Hi Kushil, and welcome to the Good News Radio.
Thanks Ashikala, good to have you here. And then Vishmi, also good to see her here. She was on leave I think the last week, and she's got a very special, like a not an award but a selection to the National Youth Services Council, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
To represent Sri Lanka as one of many.
That's big.
To go to India. Yeah.
Oh, wow! Congratulations.
And present herself, or present Sri Lanka as a nation together, and so that's really interesting news. And we have to congratulate her, and really most praiseworthy and very admirable as well. So
I think we should make a special announcement about it on the Good News Radio.
Yeah,
maybe we can ask Vishmi what exactly it is about. Vishmi, do you want to tell us?
Yes, ඇත්තටම මේක මේ ලංකාවෙම හොඳම තරුණයන් දිස්ත්‍රික් එකකින් මුලින්ම ඉන්ටර්වියු එකක් තියලා තෝරගන්නවා. දිස්ත්‍රික් එකකින් දෙන්නෙක්ව ඒ දෙන නැෂනල් ඉන්ටර්වියු එකකට අරගෙන ආවිලා එතනින් තෝරනවා සමනෙන් ලංකාව නියෝජනය කරලා තරුණ සමළුවර කවුද යවන්නේ කියලා වාර්ෂිකව. එතකොට ජාතික මට්ටමේ ඉන්ටර්වියු එකකින් නැවත 60ක් තෝරගෙන 60 දෙනාට දවස් 3ක බටංගල පුහුණු මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ නැවත ට්‍රේනින් එකක් දීලා ඒ 60 දෙනා අතරේ ආයෙම තෝරගන්නවා සුළු පිරිසක්. ඒ පිරිසකින් තමයි තේරුණේ ඉන්දියාවට ගිහිල්ලා ලංකාව නියෝජනය කරමින්
කී දෙනෙක් තෝරගත්තද?
ඉන්දියන් ටූර් එකේ අපි වෙන වෙන සෙක්ෂන්ස් වලට තෝරගෙන තියෙන 12 දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. 12 දෙනා කල්චරල් වලට වෙනම කට්ටියක් යනවා. කන්ෆරන්ස් එකට දෙන්නෙක් තෝරගෙන තියෙනවා. දෙන්නත්
විශ්මික මොකද්ද තියෙන විෂය?
මම කන්ෆරන්ස් එකට රිප්‍රසන්ට් කරනවා. ඒ වගේම කල්චර් එකේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාව ගැන ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එක හොස්ට් කරන්න තියෙන මට.
Excellent.
So out of all these people, only 2 have been selected to go to the conference, and she's one of them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because with her, skills to compare and the way she articulates, and she would probably be one of the best ambassadors to, showcase Sri Lanka at its best. So many congratulations to her, and I know she'll go places. She has an amazing, quality and a skill that she can, not only, compare, but also the way she, projects, not only our country, but in general, everything that she undertakes. She has a flair that embodies the real characteristics of a true speaker. So, I'm sure she'll do wonders when she gets to the conference, and she'll speak probably in Sinhala. Which will get automatically translated in English, but she's also learning English very fast, and I want her to one day go and represent Sri Lanka speaking in English somewhere. But she's picked up a lot from where she was, and we're very pleased that I've known her from the age of probably 10 when she led the Children's Good Values Initiative, youth programs. She was outstanding and, very, very flamboyant, style of, presentations and all of that. So she's got to where she wants to go. And, as you know, she was also selected as, the upcoming, female youth leader of our nation. So by Sirius TV, and then, she's all the time, in this, space of promoting our nation. So really, really very pleased that we were able to, find someone from the Foundation of Goodness to represent Sri Lanka, and that was something really sensational.
Yeah, that's an amazing achievement, and I'm so glad we gave her the chance to describe it. Now we know what a huge achievement it is, and congratulations, Vishmi. And I think I know she's representing herself, the country, but I think at the same time she's representing the Foundation of Goodness as well. So that's a win for the foundation as well.
And I'm sure Sashikala will also do the same as she goes along. She's also an outstanding personality, volunteering, coming from Colombo, as I mentioned, every time, because I think gratitude is the best attitude. So I wanted to always say and encourage you so that you don't stop coming. So, and you become unstoppable. So, and we like to see her. She's already done this for 2.5 years.
Yes.
Every Saturday she has been here, whether by train or with her parents, her in-laws. She's got that, characteristic that she can convince anybody to bring her here. So, and we wish her many long years of volunteering. Sashikala, as I keep telling you, volunteering, giving of your time is something that is absolutely priceless and very precious. Something that you cannot take it back, unlike any other, monetary, your expertise, maybe the knowledge, everything, you can enhance, but not the time that you give away, right? It's gone and it can't be, taken back. So I think from that standpoint, we want to also congratulate you and, and for doing something so great, coming and teaching rural kids the chance to shine and learn English. You already have a English little star behind you, and, I'm very, very proud to see rural girls and boys speaking English. So that's absolutely superb. So now we just, yes.
Actually, speaking of English little stars, I wanted to mention, I took a picture of what was hung in the wall today. So two of the foundations, two of the best English speakers, I think Natali and Osanda both. So they have in their own individual achievements. Let me read out. So Osanda actually got the second place in the impromptu English speech competition amongst schools in the Ambalangoda area. So that's the zonal level. And today he just informed me that from the he's gone from the school level to the zonal level, and from there he got a second, and then he moved to the next round, and that round he's also got the second.
Oh, wow.
And now he's moving on to the provincial level, if I'm not
Provincial
mistaken.
level.
Yes.
Wow.
So
in his age group.
in his age
Yeah,
group,
age group.
yes.
But he's under 10, right?
No, not.
I don't think he's under 10. He's
No.
definitely over 10.
Over 10, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think they go as a grade or 2-3 grades combined.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure. However, now he is going to represent the provincial level.
But he's also very confident,
Yes.
up and coming, young boy,
Yes.
who's not afraid to speak up and
Yeah.
say what he has to. And, if ever you ask him a question, he's always willing to get up, speak, and, let others know of his thought process and the mind that he has to develop anything that, is, kind of, if you really pose anything very special to him, he will always have an answer. So I'm really pleased, and and this is what means to me hugely, because from my early days and at the outset of the Foundation of Goodness establishment, I've been very, very concerned about the rural kids, youth, and the women not speaking English in the rural areas. And as you know, we are about 78% still in the rural sector. So if there is one thing that you ask me, what I am following up closely, is for them to communicate in English. I mean, they read, they write well, but it's just that the lack of communication ability keeps them somewhat limited in their advancement. So I'm really worried about that. I hope with people like you coming around here every week and prompting them, like how we would do with ChatGPT, maybe they'll find a way to chat to you more often. Yes.
Yeah, and then not forgetting Natali, who's also won
Yeah.
the second place in impromptu and also the third place in storytelling, again in the zonal division. So congratulations, I think, to both of them. And for the foundation, I think that's a big win to see our
Yeah.
kids going and
It is. I'm
winning
so glad.
English competitions.
I'm so glad, and the more I think, as young as they are, and the more they interact and more they understand the importance of speaking English, and when they interact, they start to speak better as they grow. One of the problems they have is whom to talk to is also an issue. But we've also had Jumana come from nowhere with her style of speaking. She speaks like sometimes an American, sometimes like an Englishman. So she's learned. I think from her stint overseas, because she has attended international schools, she's learned, and she sometimes does the Good News Radio as well. So I'm really happy that she's here as well.
Yes, and including Jumana and those two, I must add that giving the badge was also a very, very good idea. I feel like that we give it to a very, very selected group, and that makes it more valuable. And even Osanda is wearing it with a lot of pride. So today he introduced himself to him, and then he said, I also got this badge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they also carry it with a lot of pride, and it's not just a badge, but ever since we told him that he might get this badge, he's been actively involved in supporting others. So he goes to Bashita's class in the morning, even though he's not a part of the class, he goes simply to support the other kids.
I mean, that's his aspiration as well, to do some peer coaching.
Exactly.
And I think while I was pinning that badge on him, I also mentioned to the rest of the class that by the end of the year, you should also earn this badge. and also keep speaking. And I said, I'm going to come and speak with you all, and have a chat after 6 months to see where you are in your spoken English. So I think if you go to chat longer, Jurgen and Anka will disappear. Both Jurgen and Anka are here as guests of our studio, the Good News Radio. They're a very special couple. They've come from Germany, but they have a background of also a very charitable kind of engagement that Jurgen has had with another charity, helping children in need. But he's traveled the world. He's been in it. I got to know him through another common friend, or someone whom I had seen, who won the Creation Award for the best book at the time, maybe a few years ago, that she wrote. And then she wrote to me one day that there is this gentleman she works with, and I would like to meet. And I'm always saying yes, I can, and I want to, however much the time is of essence and constraint. So I had the pleasure of meeting him maybe about a year ago, a year ago. And we also went to the cricket cafe, and I was wondering how come a German is wanting me to come to a cricket cafe. And I had no idea that he knows about cricket as much as I do. And that shocked me and was really astonishing. But truly, without any hesitation, I can tell you that his knowledge in the game of cricket for a German, I think he can be the president of the German Cricket Association without a doubt. So finally, he's come back on holiday this time. He's been here 3 times to Sri Lanka, and he has now, but with Anka, I think they're going around Sri Lanka, savoring what he couldn't properly do when he came on, on a mission. So I was very privileged to meet him. And then, he said when he comes, this time, he would definitely visit the Foundation of Goodness. So he's here for the first time. He's got a background of humanitarian work anyway. So he will be in a better position to tell what we do and, how it impacts the community, and, how the Foundation of Goodness has actually set up its, platform. I think probably he's absorbed all that into his mind. We're not asking only about the Foundation of Goodness, but we are asking and thanking him for coming to Sri Lanka. That's far more important to us, because as a tourist, then you see another perspective. And I think his lovely wife, Anka, also is here. I'm sure she's going to also add a few lines here and there. So, Jurgen, without further ado, I would like to, ask you to describe your, association with your, charity, that where you have quite a few branches overseas, but of German origin, right? Yeah. So, and then he's been, traveling to some of these countries that they are partnering. So, and then, Sri Lanka has been also one. And now that he's retired, he's come here. So I was thinking whether he could be our, goodness brand ambassador for Germany. I don't know whether he'll accept it, but but he's here. We like to, ask Jurgen to say a few words, and then, we can ask some questions and interact and moderate as we go along. Yeah.
Yeah, in the first place, I must say I'm very, very grateful for everything we've seen today. Last year when we met, Kushil, I got a short glimpse of work you are doing, of your motivation. But what impressed me most in our discussion last year was your talking about values, about things that make society grow and improve. And so the moment we decided to come here and that it would be possible to meet, it was clear we are coming and just trying to see what has been achieved here. Your motivation I knew. Now I know exactly what is happening. And for me, I used to be CFO, Chief Financial Officer of this German organization you mentioned, Kindernothilfe, Helping Children in Need. And I'm always interested in figures. And wherever I went around here in Sinigama, I always saw this has been done, this has been achieved. This is the impact we've really had with our work here. And that was, these figures alone were impressive, but the way you are transparent, the way you are showing what you are doing, that impressed me very much. Second was talking to people. Talking to the teachers, coaches, trainers, volunteers, but also, like you mentioned, talking to the children. And again, it is so important that you can really see working together is in a very good mood, in a common spirit, in a way also that you not only obey what one is saying, but also that you try to get into critical discussions on the way. And so I was very, very much impressed by everything I saw. And it was impressive as well, you're doing it in a comprehensive way. So it's not only about knowledge. It is, however, about knowledge that is necessary in these times. When I saw the IT guys or you here in the radio. So you need to grow with everything that is required in business, in society. But it's also about education, it's about sports. My cricket love, I won't say anything to that, maybe later, but when we were on the sports ground, it's not only about cricket, it's table tennis, it's swimming. A lot of people have engaged themselves here, and I can only testify to that I've really not only enjoyed it, but that I've seen a lot from very good approaches I've seen in the past. And honestly speaking, like we had said over lunch, the most impressive part was the very early experience we had in Sierra Leone in West Africa. Actually something my wife was a founding member at that time, and when I saw this, again, working together, trusting in young people, seeing that they develop, that was really something I very much liked.
Maybe just thank you for all those lovely sentiments. But in our journey, we always strive to surpass to own expectations and aspire to achieve that excellence. So as you know, coming from a humanitarian background, donors love seeing how we make the impact, how well organized we are, what feedback we give them, the deliverables, the execution, all those come into play. And in a very humble manner, I would like to ask you if there is anything that you have actually seen that you can propose or recommend to us, that how we can raise our bar. Every time when I come on a Saturday that I am going around, I go to the sectors and I talk to the sector heads, the cluster heads, everyone, and I'm trying to, prompt them to raise the standard, in each of the, sectors we work in, whether it's whatever the sector. So, if there's anything that you would like to add from an international perspective or the exposure you have had, and if there's any which way you think we can, further enhance to strive for excellence, we would be most grateful.
In the first place, I must say, I've seen a lot of good things, like what I mentioned, your transparent way of showing the impact, how many people have benefited from one morning. I obviously cannot say from a qualitative perspective that and that has been done, but I like very much the way you are doing it, not making it endless, but almost every course 6 months, and either you go further or you go out. That is something I like, because it helps that more people can actually benefit from these programs. If you say something to be added with regard to excellence, one part that I've always learned is sustainability.
Yeah.
The way I've learned it or got to know the Foundation of Goodness is that you are obviously very much depending on grants outside. That is a very important part, and it's a good part that people are doing it. However, you have no guarantee. So, in a way, I'm coming from the business world, have something in mind of at least a foundation for the foundation to have regular income so that you're not coming into the position at a point of time to say, okay, we have to phase out this or that. I haven't studied your financial records, but at least that came to my mind when I...
Well, Jogan, I think that's a very good point you raised. You might have not known. I have always dreamt of making the Foundation of Goodness sustainable on its own without being donor dependent. But it's a very tough ask. But nevertheless, you'll be very pleased to hear because you spoke of sustainability. And I think that's a very, very, very key element. You will be very pleased to hear as a chief financial officer of a prestigious charity internationally that we have 25% of our budget now, or let's say whatever we raise is coming through our own enterprise business avenues of 11 areas. So we've raised about 25% of $1.5 million annually. So I think we are on the right direction. We have set that up. Like I said to you, last month alone, 14 tour groups have visited us, playing either cricket or netball. That's one part of the source of income, but we have 10 other areas, so we are working on it to enhance. And my goal, the day it happens, is the day I think I'll take a back seat and say, that's enough for me. I've, been hit badly by the tsunami, brought it up like from mud, like a lotus flower growing, and then set a footprint around the country. Probably 21, 22, I don't know. We have 23 now, maybe 25. And along with that, if I get the sustainability going, which is not easy, but if it does happen, then I can take a back seat and probably look as to be a advisor in some way or the other, and that's my goal.
Maybe you should not have this kind of goal because it will be bad for you in a way. And I think to have something to do, also to give others the opportunity to contribute to something good. I've been heading an organization that was almost same situation, 80% dependent on outside donations. So you need to work on a business model, that's clear. But however, it's also good that people who want to donate to something that is really growing, that is having an impact. And with regard to the last developments over the last 10, 15 years, it's a lot of donors look on impact of the work they're doing, and there I see only a very limited space of improvement.
I mean, that's why I'm saying, Jogan, someone, one of the universities was speaking to me and said that, one day if you are able to sustain the Foundation of Goodness with your own enterprise, sustainable income, this would be probably the only unique model that they could see worldwide, where first the tsunami struck, put you down completely to the ground, you rebuilt better, then you worked across the country, set this up, and then you found your own avenue to sustain it on your own, which means is that many universities would be interested to come and do research to find out how that occurred. And that also could be a sustainable income generation avenue, because, if they want to do some research. But just to get there, the next 75% is tough. But actually the COVID set us back. We were on course with about probably 18-20% at the time. But if it didn't happen, by now maybe I would have got to 50%. But again, I'm only at 25. But I can see, it's slightly enhancing every year. So hopefully, and any donor contributions can go into an endowment fund, if that is the case, and then that gets built up like a corpus. So, you being a top financial, expert, when that happens, I will give you a call. Thanks very much. Okay, we also have Anka. Anka is, I think, always comes up with some very special statements, sweet and very sound.
I don't know. Thank you for the opportunity. I have a very small idea for income generating, not from a professional point of view, but more from the housewife point of view. I don't know. I've seen those placemats you have.
Yeah.
If you could add the recipe for some of the local dishes, I would buy 4 or 10 of them.
So the recipe on the placemat.
Yes, the recipe that you have in the book.
Yeah.
Just have it on the placemat.
Yeah, so
I would buy them. So then
can we have it on? If there is no space there, or maybe you can find the space. But if there is no space, we can have a QR code with a recipe. Okay, is that possible, or is it better to have it on the placemat?
On the placemat.
Okay, we are from another generation, so we want to see it on the placemat itself, right?
No, I mean, you're selling it. You're selling those placemats, aren't you?
Yeah.
So income generating, and like for foreigners like us, then I have the recipe on my placemat, which would be very nice.
Idea. Actually, it's a very, very nice thought. Very unique. And see what happens when we start talking and when we get you involved in our Good News Radios, good things come up. So I think, I really like that. So I'm going to go back to our communications team and put more pressure on them, and they will do it. I'll tell you how. You will never believe this, right? So how this placemat story of the plates of goodness came to being. I was in London, and this is about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago. And then there is this very special franchise called Wagamama. It's a restaurant chain called Wagamama, and it's very popular in London, in England. So I went there, and they lay this, like the placemats, but that's not, they serve it only once and then they discard it, right? So the manager was there, a lady, and I asked, can I take please 2 or 3? And she gave me about 10-15 and said, you can take it. So I came back, I told my comms team, I love this concept. I'm going to laminate it and keep it on the table. And one of the girls, like you said, why would you want to do that? That is Wagamama. We have our plates of goodness, right? So why don't we create our own placemats and do it? I said, there you go, that's even better. So, and then she did this, and you saw it. I mean, it's beautifully done. It's on our dining table, each one, the placemats. But then now you're adding so much more value, saying put the recipe as well, right? So, only thing is we are giving away all at once, but it's okay. but nevertheless, I'm so happy. I think we are going to really try that. I'm going to talk to the head of communications and get that going.
And don't forget kottu.
Kottu.
I tried it last night. It was delicious.
Yeah, I think kottu is kottu roti is something that the foreigners really love from a touristic angle. We are very proud that the two of you have taken such a liking to Sri Lanka. Thank you for coming. You have come here before on a more professional note, but you decided to come together to explore Sri Lanka. So every little counts, and by the two of you coming here, I'm sure there will be so much awareness created. And when I do the placemat with the recipe, I will not only send you a photograph, I'll send you 1 or 2, I'll post it there. That'll be good. So we'll have to keep to the promise. But thanks very much for being here. We really, extend our heartfelt gratitude, and we admire you for being, so kind and considerate to take your time also to visit us and go around the tour. That has also inspired us to do more good. Many blessings, and may you both continue to experience more good fortune.
Thank you.
That was a lovely conversation, plus some good ideas, I must say.
Yeah,
so that's the beauty of speaking with diverse individuals. You get all these valuable ideas which you get to go back and try out. So thank you very much for that, and thank you very much for not just coming to the Foundation of Goodness, but also joining this Good News Radio very graciously. And thank you, Kushil, for hosting the segment. And thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. And that brings us to the end of the first segment, which is the founder segment. So do stay tuned next week as well, when we will be back and we will be having some other conversation, a lovely conversation with a few other individuals. So thank you very much. And with that, we will be right back after this quick musical break.